Feels really good. It feels really
wrong,
you know, but what do
My wife says it feels long.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, think through it, but, you know, gut feelings matter.
Yeah, I hope it can,
Not
it'll all
nothing.
work out.
Right.
I feel like
We're right.
spend
Someone will come.
7 minutes.
No, just 2 seconds.
Holly? Ready? Start city council meeting for September the 13th of 2022. We'll start by reciting the pledge of allegiance. If you can stand, give me your head here, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council members, Kim Helgeson.
Here.
Okay. Dan Rechigal. Here. Mary Bailey.
Here.
Here. And Molly Ryan is absent. Mayor Henke is here. City Administrator Mark Halsing is here. City Attorney Scott Riggs.
Here.
City Engineer Derek Olin.
Here.
Here, okay. Holly is the Assistant City Engineer, Administrator is here, and Kathy from Finance. We have Public Works, Wayne Eric. We have Chief Lee Chauvin here. And we have Public Works, Wayne Eric. And also we have Todd Gressick, Goodhue County Commissioner here today. So, and various other guests. So we will start out then with citizens' comments. Are there any that should be brought up?
Just want to take an opportunity to say hi. Haven't missed a couple of months here, but kind of just give you a rundown of what's going on in the county real quick. Budget talks right now. I know you've been through it a few times. We're projecting our preliminary at just about 7% levy increase. There's a big housing rates. The property values went up so much, average 18–19%. Farmland is like 3.5% to 4% increase. So, you know, once we get the final factors, you know, it won't be as horrible as it looks at, but, you know, the values just went up that much more, so. Paul Drodos did pass away. He was our Commissioner of District 5. We have appointed Sue Betcher. You may remember the Betcher name. Steve Betcher was our county attorney for years, so this is his wife. So she is, February will be, if there's a primary, will be a primary election, and then April will be the election for District 5 to get their commission back on. So, other than that, we still have some ARPA dollars we're still looking at. I'm still pushing to get some radios for each organization for the fire departments, and, you know, Jeff just mentioned to me on police too. I guess we haven't talked much on the police department, but we'll see what if we can roll some of that into the ambulances are struggling. So I've hit some opposition, but you know, just keep pushing it. And, you know, get something you know that we can use. We did apply for a grant for a incident command vehicle and backup dispatch. So, you know, the incident commands, there's arguments we need that big elaborate, but this is going to be our backup command center, or our dispatch. And that's going to, you know, it's going to be quite an asset for the so. Anything else for me I could take back, or any questions?
Got a question? Yeah. Are we gonna be able to use that like a rose fest, like set it up so that people around the community here can see what
I would hope that we bring it to all of our community events, yeah, definitely. So we have a chance to see it, and know that we have it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we can move on then with adopt the agenda. Is there any changes that need to be made?
Nope.
Okay,
I will make a motion to adopt the agenda.
okay, I'll second that. Any more discussion on it? If not, all of those in favor of adopting the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes, opposed, ayes pass. Okay, we move on with the consent agenda. We can also do approval of the minutes and appointments and finance all at the same time.
I'll move approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion been made, second, on the consent agenda, approval of minutes and appointments and financial. Any more discussion on it? If not, all of those in favor of the consent agenda as is, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes, opposed, ayes pass. Presentations, public hearings, recognition, proclamations. Is there anything on here, Mark, that,
No, I don't know, we don't have.
okay. Well, then we can move on to engineering. So, Eric, if you'd like to take over,
Sure.
fine.
Thank you, Mayor. So first thing, the North Street drainage outfall project. So this past month, DeCook Drainage was out there and they finished up with that project. Once they were mostly done, Wayne and I went out and took a look at things, didn't really see anything major. They still got a little bit of cleanup work to do, so what we have in front of you here today is a partial pay estimate. This is realistically about 99% of the payment that would ultimately be due, but we would be looking for approval of partial pay estimate number one for $45,533.55.
That's it, are you just waiting on
Yep, just looking for a motion on that, or any questions I can propose as well.
I'll move approval of partial pay estimate number one for $45,533.55 to DeCook Drainage.
I will second it.
Okay. There has been a motion made and a second to approve partial pay for applicant number one at $45,533.55. Any more discussion on it? If not, all of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, ayes pass. Okay,
Okay, so next thing on the list here is the Pearl Creek sanitary improvements. So these last few meetings that we've had, I guess starting in the August regular meeting, we reviewed the preliminary engineering report for the entire study area. So that was the Pearl Creek line and the Forest Street line. Improvements to both of those mains were warranted, but we looked into a little bit more detail regarding the schedule of both of those projects during this last special meeting on August 30th. Yep, August 30th. So during that discussion, what was prepared for the capital improvement plan was this next project, 2023, would include the rerouting of the Pearl Creek main, and the Forest Street improvements would be delayed to a later date, either 2025 or 2028. With that same meeting, council authorized us to move forward with this project. So what you have on the agenda here tonight is a proposal for design engineering to basically move forward with this project so we can start putting together the plans, specs. There's other details such as easement acquisition and some other planning work, cleanup survey work and geotechnical or soil evaluation that we would need to complete as part of this. But really what this proposal is intended to provide the city is steps from where we are right now up to we have a project that's ready for bidding. The amount of fees associated with the proposal is $118,135. I will tell you, when we put together the capital improvement plan, that isn't just construction costs. We try to include all project costs. That would include engineering and some other soft costs associated with the projects. Yeah, that's just an FYI, but in terms of tonight, we'd be looking for a motion to approve our proposal for the design engineering.
So Derek, it looks like construction would begin summer 2023, and would that be continuous then into 2024, or will they have to stop when it freezes and come back to it?
That's a really good question. I can't give you a definitive answer right now. So I suspect that this project would likely be completed in 2024, and the reason for that is some of the parts that are required for lift stations, especially the electrical components, have very long lead times, in some cases more than a year. So it's possible that we might allow a contractor to start work in 2023 if they're able to. But ultimately, it's going to fall on that equipment, and that's probably where it's going to end up in 2024. I'll be able to provide a lot more detailed information as we move forward and we understand exactly what those parts are. There may be some components that we could discuss ordering, just the city ordering themselves rather than waiting on a contractor to bid, just further delaying the process. But those are details that realistically can be handled a little bit later. Worst case scenario, I'd say 2024 would be the completion date for construction.
Then the second question I have, will the residents of Kenyon notice any disruption in any service here during this process?
No. There's part of this project is going to be bypassing of sanitary sewers. So that'll be required. So everyone will continue to be able to flush their toilets, use their sinks, that type of thing. That's a very normal thing for any type of sanitary project.
Most of the heavy work will be done in the first year.
Well,
More than likely.
we'll see. I have a project, another project, kind of similar scope that we bid out earlier this year. In that case, the contractor is going to start in like November, and they're going to do a little bit of winter work. But they're really just going to get, just barely starting with it. Most of the work is going to end up happening next year. So that's what I would envision will end up happening. But I do have some ongoing conversations with a few contractors that do this work here right now. So I'll continue to get their feedback and provide you guys with updates.
Okay, I read that wrong. It said bidding for in the spring of 23.
Yeah.
So I understand now. Yes.
Yeah, big thing is just,
Yeah.
as soon as we can get bids out, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest thing that's driving schedule right now is going to be the easement acquisition process. One of the first things that we do is start talking with these landowners here to try to figure out how willing they are going to be, with the city here moving forward.
I'd like to go ahead then and make the motion to approve the proposal for the final design and bidding for the Pearl Creek Improvement Project.
Okay, I'll second it.
That's for the 118,000, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, there has been a motion made, a second, for the final design. Is there any more questions on it or discussion? If not, all of those in favor of the proposal, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes, pass.
Thank you. That's all I have.
That's it, huh? Okay. Well, then we can move on to legal and Attorney Riggs, would you like to take over?
I will, thank you, Mayor. Mark wanted an update on the nuisance property at 1 Langford Avenue. It sounds like nothing has happened, if not gotten worse. When I was absent because of illness last meeting, you folks went ahead and said enforce and move forward with that. We did start that process. We received an answer back from an attorney representing Mr. Bowen, and with the caveat that they wanted to talk and say they were going to come up with a plan to have it resolved by roughly, he thought mid-October is what he said they could have a plan to do that by. That's less than 30, well, it's 30 days away at this point in time. I do not have a plan in hand. I was in communication with the attorney each of the weeks. He said he was having trouble connecting with his client, and obviously continued to have that as he communicated. He thought he'd have a plan at the end of last week. He did not. He was going to try to do it by tonight. He said he didn't think that would happen, and it did not. I have nothing in my email or phone call back. My suggestion is to follow up with him this week and say we need to have it or we're going to proceed, and it's going to cost your client, obviously, legal fees to move forward with that. It will cost the city the same thing, but unless they start doing something, it's fairly hollow at this point. It did sound like the attorney was very clear and earnest that he was going to get this done. It just hasn't happened, so I don't think it's coming from that side of the equation. So that's my take on it. Unless you direct me differently, that's what I would suggest you would do. I will continue to try to work with them through this week and say, yeah, it's time to probably move forward, and I'll talk with Mark and we'll make that decision.
I guess you got the job.
Okay, all right. Okay, good.
As far as I'm concerned.
Good to know, yeah, that's good. Okay, that's, anything else on, any questions on that? All right, that's good on that one. The other was a lot split application and combination that you have in the packet. Pretty straightforward. Basically, it's splitting one lot into two and adding both those portions to the adjacent lots next to it. So basically, lot split first, lot combination second. Typically, when you have that situation with a lot split, we need to have a resolution. I sent one down earlier today. I don't know if you've got it, if everybody has it, okay. Unless you have questions, I would just recommend adopting the resolution, and staff can take care of the rest of the process. Resolution's needed to file and show that the split occurred, but also requires that the combination occurs. And the applicant will need this as well to make sure they can get the combination filed properly with the county. So recommendation is move forward with the resolution.
I'll move approval of resolution number 2022-20, authorizing the minor subdivision and lot combination of property at 413 Scopen.
I'll second that.
Okay. There has been a motion made, second for resolution 2022-20, authorizing a minor subdivision and lot combination property at 413 Scoden Drive. Any more discussion on it? If not, all of those in favor of the resolution say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes pass.
Thank you. I have nothing further on that one.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Riggs. Okay, then we can move right along into new business. Item A on new business is resolution 2022-19, adopting the 2023 preliminary budget and levy. Mark, you want to take over on that?
Yes, so I don't know if there's any questions from the work session. I won't go back into granular details here of everything. So, I mean, if you have questions, we can go back, but otherwise, the amounts of the levy is broken down, the net levy is broken down into two different amounts, two different categories. One is general purpose, which is what most of the levy is, and the other one is bonded indebtedness. So And when the city sells bonds, they can separate that out, and classify it as bonded indebtedness, and we have a good portion of bonded indebtedness in that already classified, and sometimes the reason that cities and counties do that is because if the state puts levy limits on, usually bonded indebtedness is outside of that. So this year, there was no new bonded indebtedness in the budget, new additional bonded indebtedness. So that amount stayed the same, but the general purpose went up. And the total amount that we show on this, based on the 6.8%, is $1,183,301. That's what the staff recommendation will be, to adopt that. You have that memo that shows the impacts. Again, County Commissioner was talking about the high levy growth, and we're very similar. We're maybe 16%, maybe the county's 18%, but that does eat up a lot of that increase. So when it's passed, the impact of the 6.7 is, in straight terms, going to be maybe 2 or 3% less, if there was no increase in the overall valuation of the city. So it does lower the impact on individual properties. And that memo has that laid out based on 2013, tax capacity estimate, which is the total value of the city. So anyway, that's that. So I don't know if there's any other questions.
Well, I just have kind of because I don't understand, I'm not the best number human.
Okay.
Okay, so he's doing that for the county.
The county,
does
levy, city levy, and school district.
Okay, so now does that include our town, are we separate from that? Or is that compounded on our town?
So there's 3 different taxing jurisdictions, and there's SEMCRA, but they're so small that doesn't really affect much. But the city, and I haven't looked at this for several years, but was somewhere of a total tax bill of a property somewhere around 15 to 18%.
Okay.
Of your house, of your taxes.
Right.
Probably, let's just say it's 18%.
Okay.
So it's going to be 7% of 18%
Okay.
of the total taxes. So if the school raised their taxes 30%, then obviously, and so the other 2 jurisdictions are, and I'm not by any means saying that they're going to raise it that. We're not saying that, but just as an example. So anyway, the tax bill will be based in December. You'll get an estimate. So this isn't, and the thing to remember is this isn't the final say it, that this is just saying the maximum we would raise the levy would be 6.8%. It can still be lower.
Sure, but what I'm wondering
for the end of
is,
the year.
so he's doing this as the county.
Yes.
So that impacts our town, and this impacts our, is it compounded or is it separate?
No,
Do you know
it's
what I'm
like
trying to
thirds.
ask? I don't know if that makes any sense. I mean, I'm sure I know I think so abstract. Do you know what I'm saying? What does that affect? What is that affecting?
Their let's say they did 5%, we did 5%. Their 5% is not 5 on top of our, it's 5% of their chunk. You pay 1 tax bill to the county or 2.
Okay.
So all that money is collected by the county and then it's distributed back.
Okay.
And so it'd be like if you had 3 pots of money, we're dealing with our pot of money.
Okay, but so they are collecting from our people.
Oh, yeah.
They're collecting from, okay.
That's
I'm just wondering.
That's a good thing.
So, I know, but I know.
Otherwise we'd be hiring tax collectors for the city. Yeah.
Yeah, but so they're, okay, I just, I don't know how all the money part works, I'm just trying to gather stuff, okay.
Yeah, the county auditor, they'll collect it all and it gets distributed back.
And then we collect our chunk, so they are getting hit a couple of times, but just going into different pots and go with, okay,
Yep.
that's all I'm wondering.
So in this memo, I'll go back to this. I'm going to try to make this bigger. This shows just the city portion of what would an impact be of, and I ran 6 and 8%, so 6.8% would be a little bit higher than the left column.
Yeah.
Not a lot higher.
And we kind of thought that was a good number, and then, so the county kind of feels like that's, it's similar. They feel like that's a good number.
If your house is valued at $150,000, Your taxes last year were, again, this is an estimate, but 2818, they'd go up to 2899. That's only the city portion, but that's what the, that annual increase. So it would be, it might be a $150,000 house, $90 or $100. But if you look at, and I didn't put that in here, if you didn't have that valuation increase, that increase might be 150. But instead it's 100, because the more value increase you have in a given year,
Yeah,
valuation increase, the lower that is, that increase is.
okay,
But obviously, we don't want to see these 18% value
Right.
increases.
yeah,
I mean, I don't like to see it 1 year, but we don't want to see it 3 years, because we've got like two years of double-digit increases. I hope valuations next year are gonna, I'm pretty certain they're gonna slow down, because sale prices are kind of, plateaued. I
Right.
feel like they haven't gone way down, which we don't want, but I don't think they're gonna go up like they did the last couple of years.
okay,
It doesn't appear to be that way, so. Anyway, so it's just a portion of the property taxes people pay,
okay,
or business owners pay.
sure,
Yeah.
okay, that's helpful for my brain. Thank you.
Did you get your answer, no?
I did,
Okay.
it's, I know, sometimes I'm like, what is going
It's okay.
with numbers, I'm like, where, whatever, and it's just helpful for me to learn it, because I just
Mary,
don't
I
know.
learned too.
Okay.
So,
I'm
you're
like,
good-
what's
you're good to
happening
go.
here? Right, what's going
So,
on in a minute, okay.
No, thank you very much.
Yes,
So, okay, there is a resolution 2022-19. I'll make a motion on it. Need a second?
Second.
Okay. There's been a motion made for 2022-19, adopting the 2023 preliminary budget and levy. Any more discussion on it? If not, those in favor would say aye.
I,
Opposed? Ayes pass. Okay. Also, at this particular time, we have to do the truth in taxation.
Yeah, I just set the meeting,
Set a date,
which would be
December,
Tuesday, December 6th at 6. It's gotta be after 6, still, I don't know if that's still, Scott, in the, well, I remember it used to
Yeah,
have to be
I-
after 6, but
Yeah.
not before 6.
Right. It has gotta be evening so people can get there.
So we just, I don't know, say 6 o'clock.
Well, usually we have the fire meeting at 6 and the
Oh, it's
Truth
6:30.
Station at 6:30.
Okay,
what time is it?
That's fine.
6:30,
6:30, okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry, what date did you say? December 6th?
Yeah, Tuesday, December 6th.
We don't have to have a, do we need a?
Do a motion.
Yeah,
Okay,
you should
we
make
do
a
it.
motion.
Okay, well, I'll make that so we can move ahead. For December the 6th at 6:30 for truth in taxation at City Hall.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion been made and second for December the 6th at 6:30 for the truth in taxation meeting. All in favor, say aye. Ayes, on that one, okay. Okay, item C, Lacey's Kitchen and Cocktail Liquor License Renewal.
You missed one. You have license, you gotta do item B, City Hall roof replacement
Oh, did I miss that?
update.
Yeah, I did, I scribbled all over, okay, back up. Okay, item B is 2023 City Hall roof replacement.
Yeah, look up. So basically, this is just an update, but the city is gonna have to replace that roof next year. The roof was failed. It was determined after a storm went through in July, August.
December 15th, and then,
But there's one after that too. That, it was inspected, Wayne went up there, L&M Construction went up there, adjuster from the League of Minnesota Cities Insurance went up there, and the roof basically failed. It's patched right now with some steel, but we have to replace it next year. So basically, in a nutshell, to reshingle the roof would probably be somewhere in the range of 25 to 30,000. That would get us about 30 years. The other option is steel. I think our recommendation at this point will be to pursue steel. We'll get some more fixed prices and come back next year. And I would probably propose that if we do the steel, the cost may be somewhere in the range of 45 to 50,000. And we would, what I would suggest to recommend, and again, this will be, discussed in more depth as it gets closer, will be an interfund loan, like through KMU, through the electric fund. And I would like to look at steel and do something I think that's gonna last a lot longer, look better on a commercial building, et cetera. So anyway, that's kind of what the update is. I just want the council to be aware of that. Learfeld couldn't get to it this year if they wanted to, and that's kind of our preference as far as who does the work. So,
Any money coming from the insurance?
yeah, but it's not very much, several thousand, because it was a small area. We were trying to get them to kind of total the roof out, and all they're gonna do is just, even though we have full replacement, I don't understand this, but they're only gonna cover the affected part at the prorated value, which is about 1/20th of whatever the original roof was, so it's not much.
Okay.
Yep.
This is open for discussion only, correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's just information right
Yeah.
now, just so everybody's aware of it. Yep.
Okay.
We've had some intrusion into the upper part of the building, and I think now that's, been rectified, so we're gonna keep monitoring, Wayne's gonna keep monitoring that. Well, somebody has. Yeah, right. There you go.
Yeah, but it's creeping on our head.
When it's 20 below, they'll
Get
be
a
knocking
drone.
down the door. Oh, yeah, we'll go up there. Just wait. So, anyway, but,
Okay, Heather, move on now. Lacey's Kitchen and Cocktail and Liquor Pricing Renewal.
yeah, this is just their annual liquor license. So this is on sale, full on sale, Sunday and outdoor service. So there's like three licenses, even though we just put it on one license. So this is their annual renewal.
I'll move approval of the whole kit and caboodle.
I'll second it.
Okay. There has been a motion made, second, for Lacey's Kitchen and Cocktail Liquor License Renewal, and that's for Sunday and also outdoor. Any more discussion on it? If not, all of those in favor of the liquor license renewal for Lacey's, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes, opposed, ayes pass. Okay, item D, wastewater treatment plant, replace sludge mixing and load out pump system. And we'll have Wayne Erie, Public Works Superintendent, would you like to speak up?
Sure. So, on the west side of the building, we got the two big tanks, that's our sludge holding tanks. Our current system, it's a 30-foot diameter tank, about 29 feet high. So about 5 feet off the floor, we have two nozzles that just shoot straight. And we pump every day into those tanks, the sludge, the solid. And they settle out, and we get this huge fat and grease layer that floats. We can't break it up. So part of this system would be, instead of just two nozzles shooting straight, it'd actually be four nozzles. They would shoot straight to get the stuff to spin, and they'd also shoot at like 45 up to try to get it to spin this way, to keep that broke up. Our current pump right now, this pump is a chopper style pump, so it'll break that stuff up. Right now, when we lower the tanks, we load out in the fall time and apply it to the field. I believe that these chunks are getting in and they're snapping the shaft off our current pump. We broke it last year, we broke it the year before. It's a $10,000 to $15,000 repair every time. So this should alleviate that. The pump's designed to chew up chunks, and it's also a better quality mixing system. This was gonna be part of the budget for next year, but this pump, kind of like with the lift station, it's 20 weeks out. So I'm suggesting, and the prices are shooting up. If you actually see the 45,000 was when I talked to the guy in April. That was the price in April. The 48.6 is if we buy it today. And if we wait till the first of the year, it's roughly 53,000. I'm trying to save us some money, get it bought, get it here. It'll be on the budget when we talk about the sewer plant budget in a later meeting. But this is, we're just buying the pump and the two nozzles now.
And you already lost 20 grand the last 2 years, right? Because you didn't have something like this.
Yeah, we had like $9,500 on that pump, and we snapped that 1-inch shaft right off inside the pump.
Well, I say this is whatever he thinks he needs to do for that job.
So for the funding for this, then this was plugged into the 23 budget, or this is coming from enterprise fund?
It's enterprise fund.
Okay, so it really
It's
doesn't
really
matter. We can
Coming out of,
either,
it's not a general,
yeah, we can either wait and pay an extra 5,000, or we can go now and save
right.
5 grand.
And we don't have to pay for it to come in, so this won't likely come in
Just
until
locking into the price.
January.
Yeah,
It's just trying to sit and wait, save a few bucks and.
Good work, Wayne. Yeah.
yeah, we don't pay till next year, so I'll pay for it till next year.
Great idea. What number here? So I'll move approval of replacing the sludge mixing load-out pump system quoted at the price of $48,600.
I will second it.
Okay. There's been a motion made, second, for replace sludge mixing and load-out pump system at the wastewater treatment plant. Any more discussion on it? Not? Well, for a cost of $48,600. All of those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Ayes, opposed? Okay, ayes pass. Wayne, I guess you're gonna get it. Any others that you know of?
Nope.
Okay,
Nothing else.
other business then? Schedule of upcoming meetings will be, KMU meeting will be Tuesday, September the 20th at 2 p.m. Our next city council meeting will be October the 11th at 7 p.m. So we can move on to council and staff for general comments. And Mark, we'll start out with you.
I just would like to thank everybody that was involved with Rose Fest. It was, I think, one of the most successful Rose Fests in years. From what I've heard and what I saw, the attendance numbers were way up. It was a really good, 3 days, I think, so. Yeah, just want to thank everybody involved with that and the committee. They did a great job. So, that's all I have.
Derek,
Nothing from me.
how about you, Scott?
Nothing for me.
Okay, we'll take over. Dan, you're gonna sit in this seat next month. I am going to Arlington National Cemetery for a family burial.
Wow. Have you been there before?
Yeah, I've been.
Okay, yeah, it's just
Yeah,
amazing.
so I'll be absent. How about you, Mary?
I will be absent at the next meeting because I'm getting foot surgery. I'm sorry.
Better have 3 then.
Yeah, I'll have to make sure that we have a
I could
forum.
maybe limp in here if you need me to, but I'm getting it Monday.
Yeah, I mean, if you can come, it would be,
On the 10th, I'm getting the foot surgery. But I mean, it's just my foot. I don't know what I'm going to be like. I might be fine.
yeah, you might be able to.
Are we
Could you
still
Skype?
allowed to do Skype, meeting by Skype, if we advertise it as such?
We can under certain circumstances, so yeah, we possibly could do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
if
what
I
we can.
can't, I'll let you know, but I don't know what's gonna, I don't know
Yeah,
what's
you
gonna
just
happen,
have to
I've
see
never
how
had
you're
this,
doing.
yeah.
But if you can, it would be,
Yeah, you
it
had a
would duck
date me,
on, we'll have to make sure, yeah, I assume Molly's gonna be here, but
yeah,
Or maybe we can notice it, so it's possible in
There you
case
go.
we have to have that.
just go back to the COVID notice again.
Yeah, kind of.
Maybe not quite as long,
Not as
but
long, there are other exceptions as well.
take out the
so-
reference
Yeah,
to
yeah.
disaster and,
We can say we have one incapacitated council member that can't get in the door, but yeah,
right.
we'll figure it out.
okay.
Yeah. I just don't know exactly where we will be during that particular time.
Sure.
You know, for,
Yeah, don't sweat it.
I'll take, Chad along. How about you, Dan?
No, just echo what Mark said, a lot of people came together to make Rose Fest awesome again, so it's nice to see.
Kim, how about you?
I don't have anything either.
Wayne? Chief?
I'm good.
And the little lady in the corner back there, I know she doesn't. So, okay, well, that's about it. I believe we covered everybody on it, so we can do an adjournment, get this thing over with early.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that one, so any more discussion on it? If not, all of those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passed.
Oh, you're feeling better.
What's that?
You're feeling better.
No, I
No?
can hear a little better.
Oh,
This one- This one's
You
dead.
seem better. You seem
Well,
like you're happier.
Yes, I am, but I'm so good.
You're just learning to live with it.
No, I'm learning, yeah, I go Thursday and I'll find out.
If they can help you.
I'll give you a grand tour tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Chief, I was thinking, if you ever had the grand tour of the wastewater plant?
I did not, but
Oh,
You
okay.
should, you should.
Okay.
See, that's the worst part, is that we
Well,
can't
and
pump
the
that
medical,
tank empty,
you know,
empty.
system is so
So that's
wonderful,
strong.
you know, really, you
I
can't
bet
really
you
get
it's
through
gotta be
anything.
The way it
You
sounds.
can't get rid of it, so just every year it
Kathy,
fills
I'm
up.
sorry I missed you.
Oh.
Yeah, you should,
Oh,
you should do that, it kind of will give you a
Yeah.
perspective on
Oysters, crabs.
watching Kathy. Look at some of
The
those
way it
tanks.
I
sounds,
bet you can walk across the
they
top of
may
it.
be putting,
Oh, shit.
you know,
You know what?
like a child has.
That was a little lighter than me.
Yeah,
I bet you
yeah.
hold it.
Yeah, look at this.
I can hold that thing, I can suck in there, like, so you can run it.
Drain it,
Okay.
hasn't done anything.
Oh,
Trying to get out of the.
It's only 30 feet.
Oh.
I am very.